Welcome to the third episode of my PC flipping series. If you're new here, this series is basically just me documenting my week-to-week journey flipping computers. A lot has happened this week. There's quite a bit of things for me to cover. I'm going to be building a computer, possibly selling a computer, and also showing all the new pickups I've gotten this week because I've gotten quite a lot, as you can see. Alright, it has been a while. I'm going to put the prices of everything on screen. One thing is that this Cooler Master cooler was actually a Thermalright cooler. It's just in a Cooler Master box. I got a Strix LC2 360 and a Strix LC2 360 ARGB, but the ARGB version didn't come with AM4 mounting hardware, so I have to order some replacement for that. And then this Kraken 360 Elite came in a really beat up box. I'm not sure if they all work yet, but I'm hoping they do because they looked to be in pretty good condition besides the boxes. I got a Montech Air 100 ARGB. You can see it's got 4 fans in there. They're ARGB PWM, which is going to be really nice. And it's a pretty awesome case. It's got like a magnetic panel there, locks in and everything. And then I got an ARGB and PWM hub. And then over here, I ordered some stuff brand new on Amazon or from Amazon Warehouse. So we've got a TUF X570 Plus Wi-Fi, which was for a build I was going to do in the 011 Vision. But unfortunately, what happened with that is that my TUF 3080 card that I bought, I'll put some footage of that on screen, it came dead on arrival and I had to return it, which sucks. But additionally, I got a PCIe, you can see USB-C to PCIe card. So most of these Asus boards, for some reason, they don't include USB-C headers on there. So I had to buy an extra adding card. And then I got 32 gigs of RAM, just bought that brand new, and a ITX AM4 motherboard, which I'm looking forward to doing an ITX build soon. And this thing's actually really small. So yeah, I got that on Amazon Warehouse as well. Pretty good price as well. And then over here from eBay, I got a Deepcool PQ850M modular power supply. It's A-tier rated, and I got it for like $65, really good price. 850 watts, and it works flawlessly, so that was very nice. But the real number one pickup I got here this week was actually all of these SSDs. And believe it or not, I got them all for free from a guy I know who didn't want them anymore. I'm really grateful for getting all these for free because, as you probably know if you're a flipper, storage drives have been going up in price, especially NVMe. But yeah, that's everything that I picked up this week, but I think it's time to get into a build. I'm thinking I'm going to build this PC in the Thermaltake Versa H18 case, because I've actually had one on hand for about 9 months now, and I really just want to get rid of it. Now, I do kind of think that the internals might be a little bit too good for this case, because in my opinion, it's got a poorly designed power button, and if you read reviews about it online, many people also say the same thing. I really just need to use it in a build, so I'm going to say whatever and use it in this one. For the rest of the parts, I'll put a little text box on screen as I install each one, with the name of the part and the price that I got it for, so that should hopefully make it a little bit easier to understand. But it's time for me to quit talking about this thing and actually build it, so here's the footage. Well, the build did honestly turn out a lot better than I expected using that case, but I've actually ran into a problem which is preventing me from moving forward with this build, so let's talk about that. I'm going to be honest with you, I wasn't expecting to be recording this right now, but one of the things that I've learned with PC flipping is that things do not always go as planned. If you were paying close attention during the build footage, you would recognize this power supply right here, and I actually started having shutdowns in Apex whenever I was trying to test this computer, and I thought it was at the fault of the power supply. So I went and I swapped it out for a Corsair RM750, which I bought on eBay for $52. But it turns out that the power supply wasn't even the problem. I don't even know what the problem is yet. I'm gonna have to do a lot more testing to diagnose it. And one other thing I did was I vinyl wrapped the RM750 that I bought from eBay. because vinyl wrapping always makes the aesthetics like 10 times better whenever you have a case that has a PSU cutout. But I'm gonna have to hold off on listing this computer for this week. I don't have enough time to diagnose this before this video goes out, so we're just gonna have to hold off on listing this computer until next week, which sucks. But I've got some good news as well, and that's that I've just sold the computer I built in last week's video. Builds that I make in the $1,000 to about $1,500 price range usually take 2 to even 5 weeks to sell, just because the majority of people looking to buy a computer don't have that much money to spend, especially around this time of year because it was just tax season and Christmas, so everyone's kind of reluctant to buy right about now. I'm sure you've heard of that from other channels. Alright, so like I said, I still haven't been able to diagnose that exact problem, but I did manage to get some footage, so I'm going to show you some benchmarks, but I still can't list the computer this week. Last episode, I tested a PC with very similar specs. The only difference was that it had a 3080 and not a 6800 XT, and really the only difference between those two, besides like a 4% performance difference, is the VRAM. So what I want to do for this video is actually try to see just how important 16 gigabytes is for 4K gaming. So instead of recording at 1440p, this time I'm going to record at 4K. Let's see how it does. Well, this hardware is definitely good enough to offer a 4K 60 FPS experience in any game, and obviously you can turn the settings down if you want higher than 60 FPS, but it can definitely handle ultra settings with those 16 gigabytes of VRAM, which is great to see. I think I'm going to try using the VRAM as a selling point because I've had trouble with selling AMD graphics cards. Like I said in the last episode, I actually tried to flip this computer before and it didn't work. So I'm thinking since people aren't generally familiar with AMD graphics cards, I need an actual selling point to market around the AMD graphics card. So I think I'm going to try using VRAM as that selling point, and I'll mention that it performs the same as the 3080, but it has more VRAM, so you can use higher texture quality, and it would be a good fit for someone looking for a 4K 60 FPS experience at ultra settings, or anyone looking to game at 4K for a little bit of a cheaper price. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode. Subscribe if you want to see more of this series. I'd really appreciate it. Huge thank you to you for making it to the end. And click the video on screen now if you want to see more of this series. And thanks for watching.